It is really hot outside. I live on the East Coast in the DC area, and today and the last couple days, it has been about 100 degrees. It is like sticky, uncomfortable heat. And I have been wearing perfume, as I almost always do, but I've been leaning toward lighter, fresher, still pretty, still noticeable, still fragrances I enjoy, but things that I don't worry about throughout the day in the heat are just going to become way too much. So I'm going to share those with you today. These are a few of my go-to fragrances when it is so hot that you just want to make sure it's never going to be too much. The first two are by Guerlain, and they are in the Aqua Allegoria line. So if you know anything about this line, you know that they are on the lighter side, they are on the fresher side, and they aren't on the long-lasting side, generally speaking. Nevertheless, they are very pretty. They stand out, in my opinion, and you really, I think any of them, you cannot go wrong in the summertime. There are some within this line that I think have notes that would not be my first thought for the summertime, but just the way that they're formulated, they're so light and refreshing that I don't think you really would have a problem with any of them. And the first that I will talk about is Rosa Rosa. And the notes here are lychee, blackcurrant, bergamot, lemon, rose, peony in the mid, and white musk, iso e super, cedar, and sandalwood in the base. As you can imagine, this is a floral rosy fragrance, and it's got quite a bit of citrus, kind of rounding it out and making it even that much lighter and that much fresher. So if you're looking for a rose forward fragrance that is almost like a splash, and I don't mean that like body splash, like it's not deep enough to be a perfume. I mean, it is kind of, as far as perfumes go, it is kind of like a splash of fresh rose water with citrus, fancy, nice, well-blended citrus, and kind of a mist that you can wear that will never ever be too much, no matter how hot it gets. The next is Neroli Vetiver, and this is again a light, refreshing, kind of splashy, misty, summertime, lovely scent. The notes in this one are neroli, vetiver, basil, and fig. That's all that's listed on Fragrantica. As you can imagine, the neroli is pretty heavy here, and I get a bit of sweetness from the fig. It is a green fragrance, but I don't think it's like too green. And I'm not a huge fan of a lot of green fragrances, and so that would not be my thing. This, I think, is like, it's light, it's green, it's fresh, but it's also got like some underpinnings that make it stand out and not feel like, you know, you're not wearing anything or you're just wearing a body splash. Even though it's got some depth and even though it's slightly sweet, it's never going to be too much. It's never going to be overwhelming. But as with all of these, frankly, they're not going to last so long that they really would be able to compete with like a hot, sweaty day. So these are a classic, easy reach in hot weather. They still have a Guerlain price tag, even though they're on the lighter side, but I think staple if you want a refreshing go-to, no-brainer for the summer. Next up is Lotus Pear by the Seven Virtues, and this is a fruity, floral, light fragrance that is a little heavier, a little bit more than the Aqua Allegoria for sure, but still very, very, very light. And not only is the fragrance light, like when I say it's kind of a mist, I mean, it's like a mist. The sprayer on this is so light, it almost feels like kind of a body splash level refreshing. I don't mean body splash like you would buy a body splash. I'm thinking of like a face mist, those things that you buy that can be very expensive that are just supposed to be a little bit refreshing. It sort of reminds me of that sense of refreshment, but not that light, and definitely with beautiful fragrance. So the notes in this one are pear and peach in the top, lotus, gardenia, jasmine, orange blossom, and rose in the mid, and geranium in the base. I did a review just on this line. I find that these really are value for money, and what you see is what you get. There's not a whole lot of fancy packaging and marketing and whatnot. As best I can tell, it's kind of minimalist, but really Lotus Pear, right? You're getting a fruity floral fragrance. It's never going to be too much. You can overspray this if you want to make sure it lasts a little longer, but it's not going to choke you out in the heat. So check out Lotus Pear. Next up is Musk 12 from Kayali. I also did a review of the Kayali line. This is one of my favorites from Kayali. It is super simple. It's musk. Musky, musky musk. Very, very clean, very, very light musk. And I love this one for layering, as you can imagine, because it's so simple. It's just great to complement just about anything that you want to kind of give a lighter feel or a fresher feel. But the time when I really want to wear this by itself are times like today when it is smotheringly hot outside. And the only thing I want to smell in a perfume is something that's going to make me feel a little fresher, a little refreshed, sometimes not sweet, not floral, but just clean and fresh. And I love it for that. It's never going to be too much. It's never going to bother me, no matter how hot it gets. So today was a day, it wasn't only hot, but we were out running errands. So we were basically in the sun. I mean, in and out of the car and whatnot. And the day was getting long, and something like this would be kind of a nice pick-me-up, a nice refreshing scent that I could count on to make me feel a little bit better, to make me feel like I smell nice, even though I'm running around and hustling in the heat, but isn't going to also, when I get in the car and it's 1,000 degrees and it feels like I stepped into a sauna, make everybody sick because they have to smell it. So Musk 12, Kayali. Speaking of musk, I have Pure Musk by Narciso Rodriguez. And the notes here, I bet you can't guess. Musk. Musk in the top, flowers in the mid, and cashmeran in the base, at least as it's listed on Fragrantica. I think this is an even fresher, though not as basic musk as the Kayali Musk 12. They're not the same fragrance. They're very different. This is the classic Narciso Rodriguez musk that I love, 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 love in almost all of the formulations. So if you like Narciso Rodriguez musk, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go try some Narciso Rodriguez fragrances if you like musk. Or even if you don't, try this. It's so good. This is a clean, light, and slightly sweet musk. This is also a light, clean musk, but there's something, the depth of this one, maybe it's the jasmine, maybe it's the vanilla, maybe it's the combination, but it's got something Kayali about it, right? Like all of these fragrances have some kind of like underpinning of that kind of deeper, somewhat spiciness. And this has that, but it's like the freshest, simplest, cleanest version of that. So it's like, I was going to say it's like if Kayali did a musk, but that's exactly what this is. This smells like a Kayali fragrance in a simple musk. This smells like Narciso Rodriguez in a simple musk with that slight bit of sweetness. And I do not mean sweetness like it's heavy or too much. Never, 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 never. It's super fresh, super light, super uplifting, a little bit sophisticated, I think, even for it to be kind of on the somewhat simpler side, and always refreshing. So Narciso Rodriguez, Pure Musk for her. Next up, this one might surprise you. It's Daisy by Marc Jacobs, and it's the Oh So Intense version. And maybe you're supposed to say that differently. This is the kind of honey, sweet, pear, fruity, sweet version of Daisy. And you might think, well, wouldn't that make it too much for the summer? And I don't think so at all. Now, this definitely could be like a summer evening scent, and it could be a going out kind of scent. Like, I don't know if I'd wear this to run errands. I might wear this if I was going to do something special. And I don't know how you feel about the Daisy line. This is the only one I have. That's not true. I have one other one, like an old one that is in like the ladybug sort of looking with the flower on it bottle. I gave that to my daughter, not because there was anything wrong with it, but because I was helping her start her little collection, and her collection started, as mine did, with hand-me-downs. And so she loves it, and mostly she loved the big flower on top. So it was cute for her. But anyway, I love the honey note and the pear combination. Fantastic. And not too much. It is sweet, but it's not like Scandal honey sweet. It's not sickly sweet. It's just got a sweetness to it. Okay, the notes in the top are strawberry, pear, bergamot. In the mid, honey, jasmine, rose. And in the base, vanilla, musk, benzoin, and moss. There is enough of a light freshness in here from the fruit, from the citrus, from some things in the base, that from the musk maybe, that lifts it, that makes it not too much, but there's enough of the sweet notes that makes it special. It makes it stand out. It's like if I were to do a list of maybe summertime gourmands, like fragrances that are a little sweet, a little gourmand, but that are not going to make you sick if you wear them in the summer, this might make the list for that. And I love it. You can find it anywhere. You can find it on sale. You can wait for it to go on sale and purchase it then. I actually also wear this a lot in the fall because I love those warm, cozy scents. And this is one to me that you can tolerate it in the heat and it can stand up to the cool weather. So check out Daisy, Oh So Intense. Next up is a Dolce & Gabbana classic summer fragrance, and it's Imperiatrice. I'm sure that's not how you say it, but that's what it looks like to me. This is very popular because it's light, because it's refreshing, because it's so classic summer. No doubt if you've watched fragrance reviews on summertime fragrances, this one has come up maybe on many, many, many lists. It's also very affordable and accessible. I like this, and I bought it as a blind buy because I could find it so affordably and because it was so highly reviewed and so well loved. It's not my favorite, to be honest, because there's something kind of sour about it to me. And I don't mean sour like it's gone bad. I mean, from the beginning, it was a little too tangy, soury. I thought citrusy, but I'm not even sure that that really is it. It doesn't seem like it is, but it's got kind of a tangy vibe that isn't my favorite. It is not bad. I will wear it, but I don't think of this first, even though when I'm thinking light, refreshing, never too much, this should come to mind. But it's just easier for me to want to wear one of my other favorites. So why am I mentioning it? I'm mentioning it because so many people love it and because you can find it so affordably. So I think it is such a staple for a lot of people on light, refreshing fragrances that, you gotta at least try it. You don't gotta, but I would recommend at least trying it because you might be in the group that just absolutely loves it. Next up, we have Lazy Sunday Morning by Replica, or Replica fragrance, Lazy Sunday Morning. I love this fragrance. This one was kind of on my iffy list. I didn't really have an opportunity to smell it, and I was afraid to buy it as a blind buy because I was like, I don't know, Lazy Sunday Morning, that doesn't sound like it would smell like something I would like just from the title, and because these Replica fragrances do such a good job of kind of building into the fragrance the vibe that the title is giving you. And that's what I love about it. That's in part what I love about it. They put such a cool spin on some of these things that you wouldn't think would be that great, like by the fireplace. I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to smell like I'm sitting cozy by the fireplace, but actually, when I think about it, do I want to smell like a fireplace? And yet somehow they they put the fragrance together and it gives you all of that in the best possible ways. So when I heard that Lazy Sunday Morning smells like, staying in bed in, your sheets or whatever, I'm thinking, I don't know. But I had seen a few reviews that so highly recommended it as just a really refreshing and fresh, fantastic fragrance. I thought I had to try it. So here are the notes. Aldehydes, lily of the valley, pear in the top, rose iris, orange blossom in the mid, white musk, imbret, and Indonesian patchouli leaf in the base. Once again, they have pulled it off. This does smell like clean skin in a way. It does smell like fresh, clean linens in a way, but it also smells like so much more and so much better than that. It doesn't just smell like you're in clean sheets with a really fancy fabric softener. It smells like, if you can imagine, like waking up in the most luxurious bed with not just clean sheets, but just like soft as butter, and your skin is glowing because it's just at its best, and you spray this on and you've just showered and you're clean and you are ready to take on the day, and you want to smell as good and as fresh and as luxurious as you feel. Lazy Sunday Morning. It's not just for lounging around the house, obviously. This is a good go out and enjoy your day kind of fragrance, and definitely not too much for the summer. Next up is a fragrance by Hugo Boss. This is called Ma Vie Parfums, I think. The notes here are cactus flower, pink freesia, rose jasmine, and then in the base, woody notes and cedar. This definitely has a rose forward scent, but it's also got a light kind of greenness to it. And again, not too green, not too weird, just nice. Enough to lift it, enough to make it refreshing, enough to make it not too much in the summer. So I would recommend grabbing this, try it if you can. Definitely look for it on a discount site and see if you don't enjoy spraying a little something, a little floral, but with a little more to it, and definitely appropriate for the hot weather. Next up is Jo Malone English Pear and Sweet Pea. I think that this is on my June fragrance tray, so I've been wearing this recently. I think actually the last time I wore it was to church last Sunday, and I love it. It is light, it is refreshing, it is a little sweet, and it's definitely not too much. Now, in classic Jo Malone fashion, it doesn't last forever. But again, sometimes that's not what I'm looking for in a summertime fragrance. Fragrances that can pull off that all day thing, sometimes then it's that same quality that makes them too much. Not always, not universally, but a lot of times. And so this is the time for the fragrances that you don't think are going to last and last and last, if you're worried that they will become too much. Now, if you're going out for the day in the summer, obviously, and you're going to be in air conditioning, or if just the heat doesn't bother you, then pull out your longest lasting, most projecting, fill up the room fragrances if you want. Obviously, do whatever you want to do and enjoy your fragrances. But for me, summertime in the heat is a great opportunity to just like even try a couple different things throughout the day, depending on what I plan on doing, how I feel, and whether I need a refresher or not. So Jo Malone English Pear and Sweet Pea, definitely try it. Let me read the notes. They are Williams pear in the top, sweet pea in the mid, and white musk in the base. So very lovely, very feminine, fruity, floral, light, clean, musky fragrance that is great in the heat. So try it. Speaking of fragrances that can last all day, next up is Dama Bianca by Zerof. So this is an exception to the rule that heavy hitters or fragrances that can really stick with you for the day can be too much. This one, I think, is long lasting, but it is not too much. It is beautiful. This is one of my favorite everyday, any occasion kind of fragrances. You can dress this up, you can dress this down, you can feel like you're being fancy, you can feel like you're being casual. You can do anything you want, or you can do anything you want with any of them. But this one gives me a I can do anything I want kind of vibe. I've worn this to the fanciest occasions. I've worn this to work. I've worn this to church. I've worn this around the house, and it feels appropriate at all times. And even in the heat, it's not too much for me. So the notes are kumquat and lime in the top, violet, Italian iris, lilac, Egyptian jasmine, and lily of the valley in the mid, and vanilla, malt, white musk, and Brett, sandalwood, and cedar in the base. So as usual, with Zerof, there is a lot going on, but it is very well blended. It comes together in like a clean, musky, somewhat sweet, very, very, very beautiful floral fragrance. And if you have not tried this one, this is, I think it's fantastic, and I think you can wear this year round, no problem. And if you want a summertime fragrance that's going to stick with you but isn't going to ever be too much, this one might do it. And last on the list is Parfums de Marley Cassili. This is a fantastic fruity fragrance that's got some sweetness and screams summertime warm weather. Also great for the spring. It's got more depth than the kind of misty, citrusy, light, refreshing ones that we have covered. Some of the ones we've covered so far, but it's still not too much. This is another somewhat exception to the rule that it's hard to have good summer fragrance that lasts a long time, but that doesn't get to be overwhelming. I think this one is perfect. Now, I don't think this lasts and lasts and lasts. I do think this will dissipate over time, over the day, faster than some of the other heavier hitters, but I think it's definitely longer lasting than some of the much lighter ones. So if you want something that's a little bit more, it's definitely feminine, it's definitely a little bit on the sexy side, but not overly so. It's still, I think, appropriate for any occasion. It's going to feel like it's a little something special and very, very, very summer to me. So it's giving you summer vibes without giving you a headache in the heat. That's Cassili Parfums de Marley. So that does it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, be blessed. I do hope that you will subscribe and leave a comment and a like, and that's all you need to do in order to enter the giveaway that is still ongoing and will continue to go on until we reach 1,000 subscribers. So each time I hit a new 100 subscribers, a new milestone on the way to 1,000, I will do another giveaway, a full brand new bottle of fragrance. And so maybe that'll be you. So please do subscribe and come back again soon. Thanks for watching.